Hey. How you doing? Welcome to live stream. Hey, my name is John Skippy Limcool. It's 12:03. I'm just a little late. Oh, somebody is texting. So there we go. Hi, John Limcool here. Welcome to a new live stream. Get the light just a little bit more proper. I have the top-down camera. I've got the controller ready to go so I can show you some cool stuff. So there's a lot to talk about. There's a couple different places I want to go with everybody. So welcome, Tom. MJ, I've got my little happy mocha coffee cold ice drink to enjoy, which is nice. Hey, Marcel. Welcome, Michael. Hoser. I love that name. So my goodness. If you can look right here, you can see there's a lot of libraries in the works. There's one in particular that's out now that's really, really cool. And they are working on another library that's drum-based that I'm really excited about. On top of that, I have my own library I am working on. I'll give you a teaser. Here's one of the sounds. And we will talk about how we got there, because there's a tongue drum in there, but it was processed pretty heavily to get to this kind of different state. On top of that, there's new features that will be coming out with an update with this library that I want to entice you and tease you with for Unify that are quite epic. It's really interesting. They're small in some respects because it's just, but what this opens up door-wise is it's a Pandora box, and so I can't wait to show that to you. I want to talk to you about gold libraries. In March, starting next week, we're going to start a gold library. A gold library is a Guru Nation-made library for Unify, where we collectively say, let's use this plugin. And then we all work with that plugin in Unify with all the plugins that come with Unify. So you have access to using all of these instruments, and you have access to using all of these effects that are inside of Unify, plus whatever plugin we decide we want to use to make a library around. So it's a plugin that a lot of us own. It's a third party. You have to buy a type of a plugin. I have a couple possible ideas, and we can chat with that in the groove. Hey, Big E is here, my man. He's over in Hillsborough, where a coronavirus has been found. So make sure you're careful over there. So I'll show you this library in more detail. It's my tongue drums that I sampled, and they came out really cool. Also, I can show you this way. Let's go run the Unify demo for a second. This is the Unify demo. It is out and available for those of you that don't own Unify and want to try it out. You can go both to pluginguru.com or to ilio.com. And ilio.com is our distributor to music stores. And some of those music stores have an online presence, and I want to talk to you about that a little bit. But the free demo has the ability, it looks identical, as you can see, to Unify. It comes with 42 patches. Let's see if we go over here to just demo, because it can see all the other libraries. And I can actually play the other libraries too, interesting. But it has 42 patches that you can play that I went through and handpicked to be like strong representatives of what the Unify library can cover, what we can cover with our version 1.0. Hey, Ken, welcome. Thank you for buying it today. I appreciate that. How much are you using Machine Jam these days? Well, it depends. If I'm using it in a live situation, or like setting up for a live situation, I would use it a lot. Hey, music recording network. I've seen you in some chats in the comments and stuff. Welcome. So, but let's get to demo. Don't get me off topic. You guys keep getting me off topic, and then I start going off on tangents and stuff, and that's not good for me. I'll try not to do that. But the demo runs for 15 minutes, and then the audio will stop. If you hit the tips button, you can see these tips that will tell you how you can use Unify. Things to do, there's the plugin page right here where you can go to operations and you can scan your plugins. The demo is a single install. The full version of Unify is 2 files. There's an install for the actual plugins, and then there's a separate library called the Unify Factory Content that you can either drag from the Finder into this interface of Unify, or you can go to settings, and as of 1.0.9, our latest version, we have a select.guru file right here. For people that aren't able to drag into Unify, you can now just click right here to load up Unify or load up a .guru file and work with it. Okay, let's see. This is not the demo version, so get back to the demo version. You cannot save. In fact, if you notice, Unify has a save button right here. Inside of the Unify demo, it's a tips button, and that's what pops up the tips. All the saving code and stuff is not inside of this. So even if you were able to hack this, the code to save is missing. So it's strictly for evaluation. It stops after 15 minutes. Of the patches that I picked for putting into this, when we checked them out inside of, just the sample folder, it was like 600 megabytes. And we have at our disposal a really cool compression algorithm that Shane has found and implemented. That's something that you can simply, it just compresses the daylights out of the samples. So it took 600 megabytes to about 90 some megabytes. So there is a little bit of audio loss in some cases. It's not significant, but the end result is that we were able to make this a fairly decent sized download. Instead of the full library is 2.5 gigabytes for the samples. Unify, there's no compression applied to any of the samples inside of Unify, so it sounds exactly the way it sounds. For those of you buying Unify from other music stores, they're through ilio.com. Awesome. Welcome. They do have, in some cases, they do have their little store promotions and so forth. You'll find savings. I'm never going to do that at pluginguru.com. The price that you see is what you get. If you buy it from me, it's added to the database at the website. So if you're a previous customer, you can go to you logging in and it's there. If you buy Unify from one of the other sites, future updates and support will come from them. So you'll need to log into, if it's the, audio something and JJR or something. There's a handful of different websites, and some of them do promotions, and we have no control. If they don't want any profits, they can discount, and sometimes they do. But we're never going to discount. I'm done being a card salesman, so I'm not doing that anymore. Same with the libraries for the most part. We might do some like promotions, but I'm going to put these at really affordable prices, and we'll do other things instead of throwing out all of our earnings to pay our bills to try to get people to buy during the big sale times and things like that, because I'm just not doing that anymore. So if you do buy from somewhere else, that's awesome. We appreciate that you're a customer, and we hope you buy libraries and that you're happy with your experience with Unify. If we release an update, it will be made available to the other channels at the same time that we have the update out. So everybody gets to update. If we do these gold libraries, they will probably be on my website, someplace where they're open to the public to download, because you have to own Unify to even load the libraries that we're going to make, things like that. But, I'm not going to say where to buy Unify. That's up to you guys to decide. But if you buy it from me, it's at my website. If you buy it from someone else, your support and so forth comes from another website. Okay? So just so we're clear. All right. So I want to show you this really quick. This is a library that is available, just came out my friend Frank Neumann. We've been friends on Facebook for many years. He's done patch libraries for so many different synthesizers. He has his own website. Um, he's not he's not able to actually do this full time yet because there's not enough sales to support him. So if you like to support artists that do good work, please consider buying this library for $29. It's like 1.8 gigabytes of really cool retro synths and some really cool stuff. He worked really hard on this. I gave him some advice on naming and a couple other things that he took and immediately did 2 updates to the library. It came out really great. But let me show you that to you. It's great. You can tell he loves Unify. Here, check this out. I won't show you the exact our exact conversation thread here, but check this out. This is just, it's cool when other people that you respect that have been doing this for a long time. I can do so much more with the samples with Unify, with the layers, more samples. It's very good to start with the options to sample start. So the sample start and the random sample start was really important to him. It really gives you a chance to mix up so that the samples actually have a little bit of life if it's starting at different places. And so here's his library. Now you'll notice it has art patches, bass patches, bell, BPM bass, BPM pad, synth chords, guitar, keys, a lot of pads, and then all the basics. These are just, there's 128 different samples. So these are the samples that are just a single sample, right? So there's 128. Right? But then before this, the things that are not X basic, these are all like really cool 3 layers. Really, really cool. Just beautiful, beautiful. I just love it. It's a little hot. I would probably hold down Option and turn this down so that's... And then I would go over here and I would replace with the master optimizer to make it sound fuller. There. That's about where you'd want it. So I'm gonna save that edit because I like that. But anyway. So this is the power of Unify. Check this out. So here's a piano, which is built into Unify. And then he built on top of this using synth motion samples. So he's got a... Then he adds this. Now he adds a bigger thing to it. And then you add the piano. So it's cool piano plus kind of things. He has these really cool arps. All sorts of ideas. And if you've noticed with Unify, you can't do this with the demo. We found out it will crash. But with this, you can go in and you could say swap, go to Plugin Guru, and let's say Unify. And it notices I have the demo library running. And so I say no to that because I don't want to delete the demo library in case I need to show you guys something. But I could go over here to Synth Motions. Let's go to one of these bass things. He's got these BPM basses. Let's do this. Let's take this one down like 2 octaves. Now he's working on another library I wanted to show you guys. It's not out yet. It's still in beta. I'm going to call it in here real quick just to see what happens. I like to live dangerously. If we crash, I'm going to hit Command S to save. I sometimes do things that will crash everything because I push things. But let's go over here to the instruments. Let's load up another plugin guru right here, Unify. I gotta go like this and like that. So what he has, let's do this. Let's solo this this part right here. So let's solo so that we don't. So that's this Unify that's playing. Check this out. His other library is called Synth Motions Drum Edition. And it has drum kits, 20 of, and it also has BPM drums. So you can go to a drum kit and you could say drum kit 3 and right? And kind of like the Guru system, there's, if I show you the keyboard, there's, again, this is not available yet, but the Synth Motions is. Now, if we go to Drum Kit 3 Groove, it's a drum groove. And he's using just Blue Arp to create all of these BPM drum things. And it has this really cool retro vibe, right? So if you take that, so it's going to be really cool when both libraries are available. But even just this by itself, is using one of his BPM bass patches in one Unify. I'm using Clom bass, which is this sound right here. And I transpose it down 2 octaves that would be in the range to work right with these guys. Okay. So fun stuff, really fun stuff. Some of these, these are all looking at 1 and 2. So I don't know, why didn't it call up the other one? Let me see here. Huh. Oh, is it a keys? It's a bass. So we've got a bass part down here. Again, all I'd have to do, I have to do it, I'm sorry. Load up another layer, go to Plugin Guru. I need to have a shortcut. I should do this as just like a layer preset. Then let's go over here to the drums, addition. Now, this is one of those where he has auxiliary buses being used for certain effects. So on this Unify, we go over here to the auxiliary buses, we turn those down. Cool stuff, really fun. So if you want the retro 80s vibe, you can get it in spades with all sorts of really fun, cool basses, bells, and not just a plunky little thing. This is a 5-layer, beautiful. And even with all this going on, the processors are so that's what we love about Unify, right? Cool stuff. BPM basses, I showed you a couple. Some of them do have the pump house and other things to give you cool vibes. Okay. So really fun, creative, the chords. Right? So good stuff. So synth motions from Particular Sounds. You can find it at particularsound.de. If you just type in synth motion Unify, it will show up on a Google search at the top of the list. Okay? So that is a highly recommended library. I'm very proud of Frank for what he did there. And the drum one that he's working on is equally really exciting. I'm not going to show too much more than maybe just a couple more of the drum groove things really quickly. But it's really fun stuff. I'll play the BPM stuff so you can get some of the other vibes and some of the other grooves that are coming. Good stuff. Shoes out. I mean, if you're in the 80s, that's nailed it. And again, you can take these sounds. This is Drum Kit 19 groove, right? So if you go down here to Drum Kit 19, in fact, let's do this just to show you how cool. I'm going to show you one of the new features coming to Unify. So let's have this play. Let's just go. Okay. So I'm going to double that, join it, quantize. Oh, funny. Okay. So check this out. This is one of the new features we're working on. I'm going to go over to Logic where I sequence this. I'm going to say export this as a MIDI file and drums, desktop, save. So we have a new MIDI effect. We actually have a couple that we're working on. Let's say new empty layer MIDI effect. Are you ready? This is a Pandora box. I cannot wait for this. This is coming in 1.0.10. Right here, it's still, we got a ways to go. It's not finalized, but built in, we now have a groove player where I can say load a MIDI file. I can say load this, boom, boom. I can go down here. I can connect this to the MIDI player, hit play. And now I have a MIDI player playing inside of Unify. And on top of that, I can stop it there. And I should have it so I could play it on the keyboard. I was playing on the keyboard last night, but right? And it can get crazier than this because that's just one MIDI layer, and we can add more MIDI layers. Yeah, it's not letting me play it live. It's so funny. It was. Oh, if my sequencer is playing, maybe. Yeah, we still have work to do on it, but it is playing. You can go normal speed, half speed, double speed. So, and it will work where you just play notes on the keyboard and it will trigger and you can play it. So it's will allow us to do some crazy things. We all have tons of MIDI files and they're all in one folder. And then you have the patches and now you can marry it. And it's basically, you're going to make your own Stylus RMX with Unify. You can take any MIDI files and anything and set it up in a library of your makings or of our makings to play grooves and play more than that, in fact. Let's do this. I'm going to say new instrument layer. I've got a couple of the tongue drums. Let's use one of the mutes like this. I'll show you the full library in a minute, but check this out. So let's go over here to Logic and let's mute the drum for a second. And so I just, and go quantize, and if I hide this and sequence and let's join that together, quantize, export this as a MIDI file, and let's call this drums, tongue, just for fun, right? So delete that so it's not here anymore. I'm gonna go over here, I'm gonna say add another empty MIDI effect, and I'm going to go down here to built into the Groove Player. Load a MIDI file, load this up, and now connect it to MIDI 2 and hit play. There it is. And if I open this one, so I'm gonna start. So we will be able to do incredible things at this point, right? Isn't that cool? Well, it's a MIDI file, it's not general MIDI. Let's see. And we don't have anything stopped. Again, I'm showing you guys inside the laboratory. We're still, this is like early on in the science lab. I'm showing you what we're working on. If you start the Logic sequencer playback, both groove players will play in time. Yeah, I was. Oh, there you go. Okay. And then if I go over here and I say quick start and stop and again, we're getting there, but now, okay, so that's what I do to have it play so I can play from the keyboard. So I'm playing it now from the keyboard. And there's so much more places to go with this. This is just this, I can't wait. We have one other cool MIDI effect I'm gonna show you real quickly. Let's take and mute the drums. So you just hear, okay, I asked Shane and he's like, what? Why do you, what? We have a thing called Jitterbox coming. And what Jitterbox is, and I don't know if anybody else has done this, this is real-time imperfect playing. Meaning what you play, we have parameters we will add to this for randomization and so forth. But the idea is to take, the main idea for this was for the black and blue library, there's tongue drums. And you can send it to, well, I'll show you that in a minute. But you know how perfect this plays, right? So let's turn on Jitterbox. It messes up the timing. And there's a couple of reasons to want to do that. The main reason, let me show you something. Here's the black and blue library. This is tongue drum. And I have recorded both a blue tongue drum, and then the black and blue library is the bigger, big blue guy. And I've recorded both of them in muted and open tones. I don't know why it's still going live. So then you'll be able to record this. Yes, absolutely. So so the tongue drum black is the bigger one, and open it rings out. And the actual range, this is the lowest note. Now, I don't know if you guys saw the picture. Let me see if I can find it. Desktop shows icons, please. I have so much stuff on my desktop always. It's a mess. Make this small. There it is. So this is how I recorded the tongue drum to get what I call the mute tone, where I have all the other tongues muted. And it goes from sounding like this when it's open to this. And I recorded it in pianissimo, mezzo, forte, and then fortissimo. And then the four-way velocity switch is the 4 different layers. So if we go to like I'll show you what the jitterbox is for. In hip hop and all sorts of different styles of music, not everything needs to be in perfect time. In fact, being a little bit sloppy is really important. And I wanted something that could take, say that we were using the blue arp. Let's go over here, replace this with something like just the chord pattern. And let's connect this up. So now when I play, it should be, let's see here. Let's get this to like slow down to 70. It's not listening to anything. There. Okay. So by using, hear how the timing's perfect? Like if I open this up and have everything be chords, let's change it to be 8th notes. So we go over here to the 16th notes. And let's, just for fun, let's add one more empty layer, make this be Unify, and we'll play a drum groove so you can hear the timing. Where is Unify? Go to the drums. One of these BPM drum grooves would be fun. Now watch what happens. If I go to this and I add MIDI effects, built-in jitterbox to the ARP for the bells. It's a little too loose right now. We will have a slider to make it a little bit tighter. But you can get bad timing, which is sometimes really important. We could go to, let's see. This is using MIDI 1, so let's put jitterbox on this. It's too loose, but again, we will have sliders and some parameters in here to make it so it's just a little bit more human. And it's random, and you can choose probably whether it's more random or more like predictable. But the idea being to break up timing. Everything in MIDI files usually is quantized so heavily that jitterbox is going to help you get back to having a little bit of human feel, a little bit of imperfections into something. So those two MIDI effects will be really, really fun to have. So 1.0.10 will have those. We have some other things we're working on I'm not going to cover right now. Let me show you a couple other things with this library. So there's the black one's this bigger round tone, huge. I'm even using a low pass filter or a high pass filter to taper back the low end just a little bit because it's so pure and so huge in these. The blue is equally nice, and I did both a 4-way of the open tone and if I was to have this and play it, it would. So you have it both in this format as far as open, but you also have it muted, which is just beautiful. And because there's variance from note to note, I also have some that I've made where it's just, let's see, these are the Mega Magics. I don't want to show those quite yet. If I go here, I think I have some of the maps like this where it's just the single sample. And then it wouldn't be a plug and glue library without some sound design fun stuff too. So I put Mega Magic reverb on these, so you can call it up. And each of the samples even the open tone with Mega Magic, that's the multi-processing reverb in the samples. Isn't that cool? There's also some Mega Magics of the black drum. Okay, so these are really, really cool. Sir, how to compose? Oh, that's a good question. In 1 or 2 sentences, can someone explain the Groove Player? Groove Player is a MIDI file player. It will play any MIDI file you create. So you can play MIDI files inside of Unify and do more because you can actually interact by playing it when you play notes. You can set it to a latch so it can play and play as a groove that you can now improvise with. It's going to open up us some crazy, crazy fun doors. Instead of using the blue ARP and making it an arpeggiator, you can make it a MIDI file. It doesn't transpose like an arpeggiator, but you can now have it play like a cool African percussion groove that you just played by sequencing in your sequencer, saved it as a MIDI file. And now you can use it in Unify without any DAW, without anything else running but Unify on a computer in the park. Just sitting there jamming if you want. I mean, there's going to be all sorts of places to use this. If you play live, you can take parts that were sequenced at your studio, load them up, have them play parts, because a MIDI file can be 64, 200 measures long, whatever you want it to be. You could have it play parts of your show while you're playing other parts live on the keyboard. MIDI file opening up that door is just massively huge. Really, really exciting for that. So Groove Player, we might need to have MIDI in MIDI Groove or something like that in the name so people know it's a MIDI file player. But that's what that is. So over here on top of the nice normal-esque, I got even more into some sound design direction, and check this out. This is the drum. There's a really cool effect that you can buy. I'll show you this effect because it's really cool. Will there be a preferred third-party VST list for gold patches? Well, the idea with the gold patches is we choose one library, and then for a week or two, everybody works using that library or that plugin. I'm sorry. So that at the end of it, you send the patches to me. This is how I've done. If you guys are part of Guru Nation in the past, a lot of you are new. So what we do is in the past, it would be a demo of like 10 samples from a violin library I was working on for Omnisphere. And for $2, people could buy it and have those 10 patches and use those to make patches in Omnisphere, get them to me, and then those were included inside of the library that I did for Omnisphere for Mega Magic Violin. For example, a lot of the patches are made by Guru Nation. Customers of mine that like the idea of being a programmer and using their tools to do something constructive, right? So I'm thinking I want to try this, but instead of for a library, let's do it for one of the, how many plugins are there? Geez, Skippy, there's quite a few plugins here we could choose. So we'll choose a plugin, one that everybody or lots of people own. So it's not something that everybody has to go out and buy. I don't want it to be where you have to everybody goes out and buys some like obscure weird thing. Or maybe I'll find something that's like $9 or something we can all buy. So but flexible and cool. The first one I was thinking of was Massive, just because it's been around for so long. I can do some teaching on how to use Massive so you guys can know more about how to work with Massive. I did a library for Massive that came out really cool. I'm really happy with, like 9-10 years ago. But the idea being we will make libraries over a certain period of time where we all focus our attention to working with the tools inside Unify plus one plugin. Not more. Serum will definitely be one of them we'll do a library for. Hey, Tim, probably used ESX24 in Logic. Cool, but you can't do that. We can't use plugins that are specific just to a specific plugin. Unify is about breaking all those walls, right? You can use Unify anywhere. We want to use plugins that everybody can own and use. So if your favorite plugin is in some DAW, that's not going to be on the list. Welcome, Tim. Good to see you, my friend. So anyway, so I was going to tell you about this effect. It's from where are they at here? It's not that. Oh, what was their name? Oh my gosh, I'm going blank on it. Mech DSP right here. It's called Futzbox. Funny name, but what it has is it has presets for all these different types of weird microphone things that can then go into lo-fi, go into filters, distortion, EQ, noise, and gates, right? So here, let's take something normal. Let's use just the normal muted. If you turn this on, you can go to the bit. Right? So you can mess up audio pretty cool, keeping the character but totally changing the tonality of it. So I use that to make what's called the radio drum. And there's actually, I made a keyboard version because it plays so much like a... But it's got this... Really cool attack, right? I just love how it... And then when you put Mega Magic on it, it goes nuts. So there's a couple different samples that have that. Yeah, cool. So these will all be included in the library. On top of this, there's also, as I was doing the session, I'm changing tape and moving the tape around and clicking and hitting things and dropping things, and made for all sorts of really cool and then kick and snares and when you use like the jitterbox and you have a whole bunch of snares that are hit at the same time and then it's randomizing them. You know how they show in the videos how they like, okay, to get this really cool modern snare sound, you do this. Watch this. Check this out. This is really cool. So let's do this. So we're gonna go recording a sequence real quick. Oh, I need to go faster than that. Let's say like okay, so I've sequenced a little part. I'm going to quantize it so it's quantized hard. So that's 100% quantized to, right? These 4 parts are playing at the exact same time. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to export this as a MIDI file. And let's say snare. Desktop save. And now I can delete this MIDI file. And I can go to Unify, and all I have to do is say add a MIDI effect, and then choose from the MIDI effects the groove player, and here it is. Choose the MIDI file, which is right here called snare. Open, and then I need to just go right here and connect it so it's connected. And now when I hit play, it will play. But now put jitterbox on this. After that, right? And you have this thing that people spend all this time trying to get things to be off just a little bit. Now it's off every time randomly. Isn't that cool? So the idea being that you could go like that and then have other parts that are playing kick drums and stuff like that that might be in perfect timing, right? So it's not that not everything gets put out at time, but if you have a snare drum that just has this because it's doing that, you've got all sorts of cool modern techniques for, you know, and we haven't even gotten into playing with the tuning. And then effects, you could easily add all sorts of effects to this if you wanted to get a cool reverb. Right? So there's all sorts of places to play with this kind of stuff, but having MIDI files that are just that easy to create and load Um, I just want to jump up and down in my room when I do that stuff. Can you set the groove player to start playing when you play MIDI? Yes. Yes, it will be. If I have this set to quick start, it's playing now. And I could go over here. Let's see if we say add another instrument layer. And let's have this. This is just a test. I haven't done a lot of this. This is really, really new. So just so you know, this is like just just came out, right? Bass, let's say we have it do like a cool pulse. And let's go over here and have a new MIDI effect. New MIDI effect. Let's have it doing a cool mono bass line and connect that to the bass line right here. And if I say add another instrument layer, I showed you the drum library earlier, right? So if we go over here and we say plug in Unify, and let's open up to the drums, drum edition. This is not out yet. He's still working on this, but let's get the sequencer playing so the clock is right. So just a real quick to show you, it's playing along with my keyboard as I'm playing it in real time. And it's locked to clock, so it's really, really exciting. Offbeat triggering is my OCD. Can you import a simple MIDI melody file and demonstrate how you would use that in Unify? Well, a simple melody would be like what I was showing here. So if we wanted to do a simple melody, let's do something with black and blue. Let's say we want to use like... And again, we're still in the lab, so there's a lot of things aren't working quite right with the MIDI file player. Let's just go to a single one, not so many parts, because so. Oh wait. 3, 4. So I have. Oh, I see what it is I've got the clock right, not quite right. So let's do this. Turn off loop. Oh, what are you doing? Loop. Okay, go away for a second because we need to. Oh, just delete that. And now turn loop off. And I'm gonna quantize it to like 70%, so it's not totally perfect. And then I could say export as a MIDI file, and let's say okay, yeah, move all tracks, so it's 111, and this is bell 1. And then let's say on top of this I want to have another part, so let's say and I played a clam right at the very end, very smooth. And this needs to be quantized to the beginning. Actually, we'll say all quantized to, we'll once again have it go to 16th notes, but to like 75%. Except for this first one, you need to be quantized hard to the 1. So we'll say call this bell 2. So export as a MIDI file bell 2. So I have 2 parts here, right, that I've made. So now I'm going to go to Unify without my sequencer. I'm now on another computer or whatever. I don't have my sequencer available to me anymore for this example. And I'll say add an empty, let's see, MIDI effect. And let's call up the groove player. And let's go to MIDI file and say 1 for this part. And we connect it like this and hit play. Right? And then I'm going to say add up another MIDI effect. And I messed up my MIDI effect. So if you do that, then let's do this. Let's fix the MIDI effect real quick. I have a measure of silence. Bad Skippy. So let's go over here and say bell 1 to 3. And then move this back to 1. And let me just make sure. Oh, wait. Command 1. PP right here. Quantize at 100% so it doesn't. If you don't have your the MIDI file timing is important. The beat 1 can't be before beat 1, or else it makes the MIDI file have gaps and stuff like that, right? So save selection as a MIDI file. This is drum 1X. So we fixed it. So go over here. Now we can call up Unify. Go to the MIDI file. Let's call up MIDI 1X, and you'll notice now there's not a delay. Okay, so let's go to MIDI file, add another MIDI effect. And I need to do another layer, so let's duplicate. Actually, I'll just do this, black and blue. Let's use the open piano. Oh, wait. This is supposed to be mute. I need to go add another instrument, and I made these presets. These are not in your factory stuff yet because I was making something. And let's say for the second one, go MIDI effects, built-in groove player, load up bell 2. Okay. Now if I stop this, I should be able to have go over here to MIDI 2 and they play. So then I could say add another layer. I could say like maybe something like one of these drones. I have a really cool drone bass right here. So and then the idea being that you could set these up with the latch. You would go up here and turn on latch. It's not working right now, but when it is working, you'll be able to latch it so you play like low C and have this like really cool idea playing that you then have the rest of the keyboard to play with and jam with if you want. There's all sorts of ways to use this. Or have this be a drum groove that just plays as you're playing keyboard parts across the keyboard. It's just really cool that now you can play in parts, turn to a MIDI file, and load them into Unify. So that will be coming with the next update that we're working on. So as a free update, you'll be having these new capabilities added to Unify. And I can't go into any details, but you're going to love Easter, let me tell you. Easter's going to be pretty cool. Anyway, so that's about where we wanted to go. Is there any questions you guys have on anything? Yeah, the possibilities. Once you have MIDI file import, possibility door just goes boom. So many things that you can play in, so many MIDI files on the internet. There's all sorts of places to get in. You know, a lot of the libraries you buy come with MIDIs, right? And those are MIDI files that you can load in and to have parts played with different synths, so forth like that. So it really opens up some pretty exciting doors. Any questions from all of you lovely people out there? Is there something you guys want to know more about, see more about in particular, whether it's a certain plugin or something synthesis-wise, real-time controllers, what if there's any I didn't have a huge agenda beyond what I have shown for today. Sound design, taking a regular round kick into a low boom. Okay. How do you fine tune the tongue drum and did you have to find? Yes. So the tongue drum was terribly out of tune. Certain notes were really badly out of tune, like plus 50 cents. So I tuned that in EXS24 where I made the map, and then we have a conversion process to convert the maps into format for Unify. Thank you, Shane, for doing that. So yeah, I tuned it so that everything is in tune. So if you call up one of these black and blue patches, right? And you go new instrument layer and you go to the presets and we say we want to use DX and we want to have a keyboard. You know what we should do? This should be plucked. So let's go over here to replace layers, to DX, to the plucked bank. And then open this up and go over here to yeah, the groove player doesn't exist yet. I'm showing you guys a preview of new things we are working on that will be added in the next update to Unify for free. So there is no groove player, there is no jitterbox that you have access to. I have it. I'm sharing it with you how it's going to work, this new ability that is coming so that you can be a little excited for new features like we've talked about. Our idea is to bring out new cool features with libraries that support those new features, that show off the capabilities of what those features were for. There's all sorts of places that will be explored inside of the Black and Blue library. This is not the final artwork. I just put that together really quickly, but the possibilities will be really exciting. And because of the Mega Magic sounds, to have that and then on another channel playing a will be really, really, really fun. Open up all sorts of cool doors. So yeah, there's features I'm showing you right now inside of our MIDI effect player. We have two effects down here that you haven't seen before. There's the groove player and there's jitterbox. And it's probably 2 or 3 weeks out till they show up, but those are features that will be coming. And I'm very excited. So Easter Bunny will bring it to you. Have you played with Audio Air Zenith? I don't think I have. I think I did. I did a look at that when it was introduced. Let me see here real quick what Audio Airs. I think Audio Air. Yeah. Maybe you like that interface. I'm not a big fan of the interface for Audio Air. Unless they've changed it. It used to be that once you added a lane that was assigned to a parameter, that parameter can't be changed anymore. And I don't like that concept at all. Take one multi and percussa and show how you can get it to go from intense busy groove. Oh, let's do that. Oh, cool. Thank you, Atimus. Okay, let's do that. Biggie is asking for us to dive into Omnisphere. So let's go over here to Spectrasonic's Omnisphere, a synthesizer we still love very, very much. And hello. There it is. So we want to look at Percussa. Percussa is a library, maybe one of the more aggressive, unique libraries, because Omnisphere doesn't come with a lot as far as drum sounds. And this was a cinematic percussion direction. So if we go here to Percussa, there are all these different grooves that do just crazy, crazy stuff. Let's use like Brussels Subway. And let's see, I need to make sure my tempo. Now, the concept behind this library is each one of these equals a patch in Omnisphere. So this is using 6 patches. And if you solo one, it's playing just that part. And on part 1, there's an arpeggiator. It's playing this part, right? So if we go back here and we solo, and so Big E's question was, take one of the multis and percussa and show how you could get it to go from an intense, busy groove into a different feel without just muting parts or using halftime. Okay. We're excited. Good. Glad to hear it, Ken. So what he's talking about is going over here to part 2. And actually changing the arpeggiator pattern, turning off timing events and so forth. So let's keep building this. I want this kick to be different. It's designed very boomy, right? So let's go over here and see what's making it boomy. Well, it's definitely got some reverb. Let's see. Let's see, so it's part B. Oh, easy verb right here. No? Oh, it might be in the sample. Oh, it's probably in the sample. If that's the case, yeah, it's in the sample. Okay, so go to part A. We need to get into more serious things. So let's turn on the filter. And let's go to the filter envelope. See, by using filtering, you can get rid of reverb. All that reverb, I'm just filtering it out. So now when we put it in this mix, it'll be a whole different vibe. And let's do this. We're gonna do a dance track, so. And let's get it to be shaped a little better. So it means kill the release. Maybe I don't want such a hard attack to it, so you can go over here. Let's mute it for a second so we can hear it. Let's go over here to the envelope for the attack. Zoom in. Maybe we want a little pitchy G, so we could go over here to the pitch. Let's go modulate this, go to all sources to mod envelope 4, right? So we have a big pitchy G on it. I have in the Guru envelopes that come with all the libraries that you buy for the most part. If not, let me know and I'll get it to you. Then I can bring down the depth. Let's see how that works with the groove now. So this is really ambient. So let's go in here and let's make it just a small room instead of such a big cinematic thing. And this is cool, but I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna go to EQ. Actually, yeah, I can use the Studio EQ, which has a high pass filter. So it doesn't have that low end. I don't want it to be in the way of the kick drum. So now when I play the whole mix, all right, so let's copy this so you can see how I took from this. Like this part 5, it's got the ambience too. So let's go over here and right. So let's do one more because I love this kind of stuff. So A Million Lies. Each one of these are so fun. It's so fun to look at the tricks that Airwave did to get die away a little bit faster. Let's go to the pitch. And he's got some sort of an effect, it seems like. What was going on here? Oh, it sounds like a flanger or something. It seems, but there's nothing here. Go to the... Huh. And let's go 3. So that's in the sample. No, it's not. Must be in the multi-level. Yeah. So instead of this part, let's have it be more like a hi-hat, or is it? Let's have this become the hi-hat. So part 3, tune it up. Instead of this pattern, let's just have it all be he has some sort of alternating thing going on or something. Let's add noise. So we turn this on, make this a synth part. Make it noise, and let's shape it envelope. Let's make it 8th notes. Oh, it's a swing thing. That's what it is. And let's go over here. Let's get this to be a high pass filter. Turn this down. Let's say high pass filter, please. And I still hear reverb on part 3. And this one's going kind of fast, so go to part 4. This might be one where it's just easy to go to halftime. And because there's so mid-frequency stuff, go to the effects and go to EQ. High pass filtering does wonders. If there's something that's got extra frequencies, get rid of all the frequencies you don't want. And now it's ready for a cool jam. So here's the original. If we go to multis, A Million Lies, originally sounded like, and just with a handful of edits. I'd probably mute that part so it doesn't have the melody. And then you could sequence that. Let's go over here and go. Okay, so we have something here. And then add Unify. Right? It's just wide open for going all sorts of fun places at this point. Yeah. Anyone out there layer Unify with Keyscape? That works very nice with Keyscape. Yeah, especially the pads and stuff like that. It's really great. All right, any other questions? I'm going to put up a question. Make sure that you guys follow the Facebook Plugin Guru page, because I'll put a question there about what plugin we should do for the first that we do a Guru Nation Gold library for. I'm still thinking Massive might be a good choice because so many people have the Contact Complete, Native Instruments Complete. That's such a, I don't know, maybe a lot of people don't have it, but it seems like a lot of you guys do at this point. And it's a fun synth that hasn't gotten a lot of love. And I'm all into getting attention to things that a lot of people have kind of forgotten. So that might be a good place to start. But we'll see. We'll ask and see what everybody says about that. But yeah, if you were to standard library, go to some of these cool pads. Add a new layer. Go to all instruments, Spectrasonics, Keyscape. Oh, there's an update. I don't need to get the update right now, but we could say maybe their dark score. Or go to more of the brighter pop. I'd probably lessen the compression. If we go to the threshold, bring down the ratio so it's not so hard. Maybe take this down an octave, option and transpose. Yeah. I'd probably get it more expressive. Plays better for me. What's nice with the MIDI curve right here, just so you know, any instrument, any synthesizer you load up, you can immediately change how it feels, how you play it with the velocity curve on the input for that channel. So this layer, it just, I play soft and it doesn't get soft. So go like this, and this makes there be more of the velocity curve range in the softer dynamics. Maybe in between. Right? So it's great to have that right there on the input for any channel, especially when you're dealing, in the case it seems with Keyscape, or if you're working with the DX. That's another one where if we say DX, add a keyboard, it's great to have this be a little bit more expressive. Let's go in here and check for it. tuning. So yeah, it's fun to get into this. And again, the CPU usage with 3 layers, you know, Keyscape still takes up a fairly hefty amount of CPU power. Not bad. And that's 3 layers together. So it's fun because each layer is on its own CPU core. They're not all joining Keyscape on that core that Keyscape is on their computer. So they're just over here trucking along, barely even blipping, right? So yeah, pretty cool to do that kind of thing. Yeah? Surge Synth. I've heard of that. Do I have that? Oh. Yeah, we could use Surge at some point for one of the libraries. Maybe that was actually one I was considering working with inside of Unify as one of the synthesizers, but there's so many programmers working on it. Silly question, but why can't I see my MIDI effects like Blue Arp? If you don't, well, make sure you're at 1.0.9. Everything is on a pretty stable channel there. And you need to go add MIDI effects, empty, and then right here should be your standard arpeggiator is the Blue Arp right here. That's where it should show up. If it doesn't show up there, then do an update. Just download the updater from the website, our website, or from wherever you bought Unify, and make sure you update. And it will maybe jiggle something that we used to have a thing where there was a requirement of loading a separate presets file we called the Unify Basics. And it just was too confusing to try to make sure that everybody realized there was the update or the installer, there's the library, and then there was this additional thing called Unify Basics. We don't have that anymore. We merged it all into the factory content. So I would try that, my dog. My dog. It shouldn't be hidden. You right here. Yeah, if you're missing contact, yeah, you can also Unify support at pluginguru.com is our support channel. But chances are doing the update will jiggle something if something isn't quite right. Yeah, Synth 1 is one of those that I like, but it crashes Unify all the time. It's not stable. And we've tried to get a hold of the developer in Japan that made Synth 1. We're not sure where he went. If anybody knows how to contact him, it needs some updates to be stable. It's not stable right now. Yeah, okay, well, so that's where we're at for this week. MIDI file support is coming to Unify, and it's going to be a beautiful thing. Jitterbox is cool. There's some other things we're doing that I'm not going to tell you about that will be coming, both in this update and then the next update will be around a little bit before Easter, I'm guessing, because we have some things we're planning to spring on you that will be really, really cool. All right, any other questions, or are we doing our shout-outs? Let's do our shout-outs, I think. So I'm going to do a shout-out from PDX. Big E, did that cover some good ideas for how to do stuff with Percussa? Phoenix, Ohio. Yeah, Bruce up in Ludlow. Bill in sunny Carolina. Cool. Now we start getting the internationals. Canada, Holland, Shane up in freezing Canada. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. From Germany, Scotland. Hoser, good to see you from Scotland, my friend. Right on. I want to go there and do photography so bad. There's places in Scotland that are just so beautiful. Derek in Sweden. Frank, good to see you. Frank Newman is the man that made the library, Synth Motion. Guys, go support the dude. This is a great library. Came out so cool. So search on Google Synth Motion Unify and you'll find his website and buy the library for $29 if you wish to have really cool retro 80s synth big layer patches and stuff like that. Oh, good. Glad you guys like the ideas and stuff. Shout out from Texas. Hey, Zachary. Good to see you. Zachary, right? That's Zachary? I think that's how you'd say your name. I'm always trying to know how to say. Pad King out in, oh, wow. St. Julian, Canada, under 2 feet of snow. Les in Poland. Good to see you. I'm saying your name not right now, right? Les. Oh, cool, Zach. Cool. Shout out from Norway. Good to see you found it, Ivar. Yes. Also, just so you know, I should probably say, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, please. And if you are needing patches, if you want to get any of the stuff that we're showing here, come to the website. Here it is, pluginguru.com. There's the link to get to the demo version. Here's the link to the full version. Every Friday, if there's going to be a live stream on Saturday, I put a banner on the Plugin Guru website. And you can click this, and it will take you to this live channel right now. So, see? There it is going on. So, that is on the YouTube channel for you to click. To see the live stream, okay? So that's where I do my, instead of sending out to everybody every week, hey, there's gonna be a live stream tomorrow, just come check the pluginguru.com page, and you'll see if there's a live stream link or not. I can't speak all of a sudden. But I have all these products. If you need patches for all sorts of your synthesizers, from Omnisphere to Contact, Serum, Break Tweaker libraries, people are freaking out still over those. All the Native Instruments libraries are really cool. Stylus RMX, we've got libraries, and then individuals like Malicious, Future X for Spire, which was just an incredible library made by Casey Baldwin. He's working on a really cool library for Unify. There's bundles. I've put them all back up so you can see the bundles. There's bundles to save money and save 30% off on libraries by buying things in a bundle. Those are all here on the website. So please come to pluginguru.com if you need inspiring patches. And as always, I thank you so much for your support and your business. It means a great deal that you guys support little independent people like me doing this kind of stuff. And we'll see you next week at the next live stream. And if you guys have ideas, Unify support at pluginguru.com. Just send me some ideas, requests, things you'd like to see more of, ideas for Unify, for live streams, for all sorts of things. Good to see you all. Be well. Have a great week. Let's all stay unified. Everybody stay healthy. Don't get no viruses. None of that kind of stuff, okay? And we'll see you soon, okay? Thank you all. Bye.